Yo, how's it going guys? It's Justice here and welcome to a new video. This one is again World of Warcraft and it's me tanking a plus 15 Temple of Sethraliss as a protection paladin. Currently 426 eye level, still using the majority, well still using all Azerite gear from the previous tier, so 415 Azerite gear, which has gone up to 420 due to the last eye level upgrade. This is a plus 15 Temple run, it's a complete pug run. Never met these guys before, have no idea on the experience levels, except for what Radar IO tells you. The Rogue seems to have a lot of experience from IO. The only guy I have in comms is the Rogue, who managed to get into Discord because we were organizing when to Shroud throughout this dungeon. So I did have the Rogue in comms, the rest of them were not in comms. That definitely does make it more difficult. I think plus 15 is definitely pushing it. For the eye level that I was, and I'm pretty happy about achieving this run, so I thought I'd upload it onto YouTube. You know, from a pug perspective, you're looking at, if we were all on comms and actually communicating, you're probably looking at about another 2, maybe another +2 on the key level, which possibly could be doable with this team. The DPS were nicely geared out, they were all like 430 to 434. So they were nicely geared out, to be honest, and you'll see that from the damage that they're outputting consistently. It is consistently good damage. So yeah, I decided to just talk through this one. I'll be doing some music overlay, so I won't be talking constantly, but I'll be just chipping in when I feel like I could say something, just talking over what's going through my mind whilst I'm tanking this key, my thought processing behind things, and we'll go from there. This is going to be a big pull here, so I've got Seraphim and Wings ready, and I use both. I want to get aggro first before I pop the Seraphim. I popped that. In terms of essences that I'm using Memory of the Lucid Dreams combined with the Seraphim. That essence trait combo is just glorious. I think the healer actually dies in this pack, but I do manage to keep myself up. Healer's just popping off here at the beginning just to keep all of us up. And as you can see, we're targeting the marksman again because of those power shots, but there are 2 of them here, so you can gouge, you can stun them and everything like that, so you want to try and gouge and stun the power shots when you can, which I try and do with my single target Fist of Justice stun. Yeah, in terms of going back to the essence and trait combo, there you go, the healer just like completely got KO'd there, but we're fine. Most of the pack and all the dangerous stuff is over, so we're fine. That marksman needs pushing out. I think he follows me in a second. Yep. So yeah, back to the essence trait combo. So I'm using Memory of Lucid Dreams, which increases the recharge rate of Shield of Righteous by 100%, and I'm combining that with the Seraphim trait. Seraphim is just brilliant to play. It changes the entire playstyle of the Protection Paladin. You have to track so many other things, and again, this is another scary pack coming in, focusing down the Emissary of Tides, because he is going to prevent us from interrupting everything around us here. So not that many things to interrupt here anyway, like pretty much everything here is non-interruptible, but you can stun them, and you can't do that as well when an emissary is there, so you just want to try and target focus that guy down. As you can see, I keep dragging them up as well because it is Sanguine week, and I don't want Sanguine pools dropping down there or on other mobs, so you will constantly see me use a tactic of just dragging things upwards back to where we came from, so we can go down and then back down when the Sanguine pools drop. It's quite a nice motion of doing it when you're tanking. Just need to get aggro back on that marksman there, so I taunt him. But yeah, I do need to actually talk about this freaking essence combo. There's so much happening actually when you're in a key. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so the reason why this combo is so nice is because Seraphim allows you to, it increases all your secondary stats significantly, and so it allows you to do a really nice damage output whilst also healing. But what it used to basically the major pitfall for using Seraphim historically is that you couldn't keep much physical mitigation up because it would use 2 of your Shield of Righteous charges, and you'd have to wait a little bit to be able to pop one off, or you'd have to use it when you've got 3 full stacks, so you can have a Shield of Righteous charge while Seraphim active, but it'll only last for a few seconds. What Memory of Lucid Dreams does is it charges up your Shield of Righteous so quickly that whilst you're in Seraphim, you can have full physical mitigation up at the same time, like Paladin's physical mitigation up, which is Shield of the Righteous. So you can have that combination up at the same time, and it becomes an immensely powerful combination. It increases your damage overall. You can still have defense bonuses if you wait with your Memory of Lucid Dreams every time you got Seraphim, and also increases your single target damage when you're fighting bosses, which is really nice, combining Seraphim with your wings. So overall, I feel like this has been a really nice strong trait, and it's sort of revitalized my love for the class because it's allowed me to change my playstyle with the Protection Paladin, and so it's brought that fun and enjoyment back into the class rather than just rocking Last Defender. So the reason why I've got the rogue in here is to organize the shrouds. So currently we're going down. I'm just going to tag this Crowlusk Rider. I don't get him down quick enough, which is my bad, but I'm a bit conscious of this spray that he does. So that spray, the Noxious Breath, I want to make sure that's always away from the DPS. So I'm going to pull him back. We're just going to nuke this one guy, and then this is actually where we're shrouding. Because we took everything at the start, our percentages are in a really good place. Essentially, we're aiming for like 70% before the orb room, and therefore we know we're going to have enough percentage with the shrouds that we're doing. So right at this point, we're going to do a really big shroud, which you only just make, so you've got to make sure you're attentive if the rogue wants to shroud here. So we're actually just going to shroud right through here. And this tactic you can definitely use on the majority of rotations, like majority of affixes. This is a really long shroud. We skip a lot of crap here, so we don't have to deal with that really annoying emissary. We don't have to deal with that pack there, and we don't have to deal with the snake pack here, which is just extremely annoying with dust clouds and the marksman. It's very annoying if you don't have like grip, like a DK is an example. Yeah, it's just really annoying. So this rider, I'm actually going to pull right into this emissary. So we're going to have to nuke this emissary down because again, we're not going to be able to interrupt these tenders or the incubators. So this is going to be a pretty sketchy pack. Luckily, DH has already predicted that, and so we put darkness down straight away, which you can see on my debuff bar there. That's just run out. So at this point, I've used a lot of my main CDs here, so I use Guardian of the Ancient Kings there to keep myself up. That's like an oh shit ability for me personally as a Protection Paladin. Like, I only use Guardian of Ancient Kings when I absolutely need to. It's not something that I rely on, and I don't fit it into my rotations. It's like literally there as a failsafe. It's really nice that as a Protection Paladin you do have quite a few failsafe abilities. Don't rely on them, but the failsafe. And yeah, that's how I use them at the moment. If I get to really high keys at any point, if I actually invest time into this game, then maybe I'd probably plan those in a bit better, but I had an idea. I needed it there. That pack's been dealt with. Protection Paladins as well, great for this dungeon because you can dispel a lot of the poisons. This is going to be a big pull here. And because of Sanguine, you'll notice me pull straight up as well. So I'm pulling all the mobs up so Sanguine drops higher up. So it's not in the boss area, and I can kite them as well. And the little trick that I did there, you'll see I healed right up to full by myself. It's a really nice, neat trick that Zandalarian trolls have. Not many people seem to do it, I don't think. You just bubble when you're in like an oh shit moment. Usually you really save your bubbles for doing big pulls. Like, do a massive pull, knowing that you've got that fail safe, knowing that you can take the damage, because you can just survive as long as you possibly can and then pop bubble. When you're in bubble at 5%, 10%, 20% health, then use your regenerating ability, which is a Zandalarian troll racial ability, and that'll heal you all the way back up to full. It's like a lay on hands, but not insta cast. It's just like a 2-3 second cast. It'll heal you right back up to full, only has a 2-minute cooldown. I very rarely use it throughout the dungeon other than the moments when I bubble, because as soon as you get hit again, or if you've got a debuff on you, it will cancel the cast if you're in any sort of combat. So I only use it when I'm in bubble, where I'm immune to all damage. Alright guys, it's all good. We're pulling in 3 seconds. Usually, I mean, if you're new to pugging and everything, like the pug world, I have no idea who's going to be watching this sort of video, so make sure you're always, you know, you're going to be in the lead. You're going to be the lead. You're going to be doing the ready checks. You're going to be doing the pull timers. So at this, preferably, what you want to be doing as a team is stacking with the tank. So if you're a good player in a pug, you will naturally stack with the tank. As you can see there, I did try and get people to stack with me because there are 2 noxious breaths. There's one frontal cone that I will try and jabate. If everyone jabates it, it'll go out of the arena. And the second splat happens right after that. And so if you're stacking, then you're keeping that noxious breath all clumped together. Here, as you can see, we're just absolutely tearing through this.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
What I would do, guys, is when you're watching a video like this or anything, I would definitely pay attention to the timers, because that'll give you a good idea of whether you're going to reach the end of this dungeon in time. I was always conscious about that, and I'm very new to these affixes. It's the first time I've done temple actually with emissaries this week, with this tier. So, you know, this is all like kind of learning on the fly as well. And timer wise, I have no idea. And percentage wise, all I know in my head is that I need to get at least 70% before the orb room. So just having those sort of indicators in your mind as a tank does help. So this is the second shroud, guys. Definitely a different type of shroud. I've never done this one before, but it's massively useful because you've got an emissary here, you've got nimbuses, which are a pain in the arse. So really key shroud here. You can shroud all emissaries, guys, by the way, except for the void one, the purple one, that does AoE damage. Pretty certain that's the case. DH got hit, but we're just going to res him. And that's another thing which Paladins do bring to the party. Yes, they don't have a BR, but they do have a res, and they can have the ability to res. So for any like death skips and everything, the Druid healer as an example, or Druid DPS could always just BR the tank. I do tend to have that capability in a lot of dungeons, which is really nice as a Paladin. I I think the utility kit's really good on a Paladin. Yeah, the interrupts aren't too bad. Like, our team are interrupting. They're definitely knowledgeable players. So we're going to stay back here and make them teleport to us, because the dervish will teleport to the players who have aggro. So I've got aggro of them, and they're going to teleport to me, away from the emissary. Otherwise everybody gets reflect damage, I think it is.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I know.
So yeah, me and the rogue were discussing where to tank the boss there, so I completely lost track of the Sanguine pools. They healed up quite significantly. But yeah, where they are right now is bad positioning, so I'm going to have to change my movement here, being conscious of Sanguine, telling everyone to stay away so they can teleport over here near the stairs. You know, you're constantly thinking about your cooldowns as well. You don't want to be popping wings here or anything like that. And I'm hoping my Seraphim's going to charge back up again. Ready for the boss fight. So it's the first time I've tanked it here. This was a tip that the rogue gave me, and it's freaking beautiful. Just watch and see where the lightning pillars come from. It makes it extremely easy for the DPS to absorb everything. And the healer. I do turn around later on as well, so I can absorb a couple. For this as a Paladin, I've not done keys in a long time, and this is actually the key where I do usually rock spell warding for this fight. And on Tyrannical, it's probably a must-have. You should definitely go for it. You don't really need Cavalier for this dungeon, and so rock spell warding talent, guys, and you can absorb an entire pillar here, or place it on somebody else to absorb a pillar.
I'm just going with the gut. Never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet. Hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't gotta say a word, I know what's up. You can have it all, watch me rip it off. I'll admit it, you got me feeling hella love. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one, I can feel it in my heart, yeah. I won't stop charging, we going come harder. I can see you and I, way beyond the stars, girl. I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. It feels
So as you can see, we're currently like 4.55% over percentage kind of thing, but it's better to be safe than sorry, so you do want to be around this percentage going into the orb room, based on the 2 shrouds that we've done on this run. This is actually very scary. Druid just got absolutely wrecked there. I think he might die, actually. But this is actually a scary moment. You've got to run in, tank's got to get aggro ASAP, otherwise people die. On a high key on fortified, this can hurt, and you've got to be interrupting the shocks. So at this moment, we're kind of like planning out. I'm planning out with the rogue. Again, me and the rogue are kind of like really sort of discussing tactics here for the key to make sure that it goes smoothly. And the rogue's done this before. I think he's done a 15 in time this week already when I checked his IO. And so he's basically just informing me around the Void Emissary, which I had no idea was there. Usually you just leg around and collect everything on previous reaping affixes. But due to the Void Emissary being right in the middle here, to the right near where the eye is, that's our main focus point. So we've scored it. We're going to absolutely nuke that guy down. As soon as he goes down and the healers heal us up, I'm then going to start taking everything. And the rogue's going to sort out the eyes. You won't really see what happens here with the eyes that much from my tank perspective. I'm kind of just tanking and gathering mobs. It's up to the DPS to be knowledgeable around getting the eyes to the skull. So yeah, the skull was sorted out. I mean, you can see from my perspective, didn't really see when the heck that happened or how. So the rogue did incredible there. This is really hurting me now. I've got about 5 guardians on me at this point, so I'm pretty certain I use lay on hands here to keep myself up. Yeah, so I get down to around 2% health, and then I use lay on hands. I'm gonna start kiting. Again, we're getting a lot of percentage out of this area, out of this orb room. If you think we went from, you know, 75, 80% right up to 93-ish. So just to play safe, we've got like 11 minutes still left in this dungeon with just 1 boss fight left, which isn't tyrannical. So the rogue calls to play it safe, and so we take these 2 and we just finish off our percentage to 100%. An ideal situation, especially if you play on tyrannical, or yeah, on fortified weeks, just an ideal situation is to pull these guys in the last phase of the boss fight, making sure that you kill everything which you drag down first before you kill all of the boss hexes. In which case you'll have that, you know, crazy lust and crazy haste phase where you can use that to your benefit and take down all these adds and then reach 100% percentage at the same time as killing the boss. That's like an ideal situation that most do. Most of you guys will know that, but yeah, that's like a common tactic. But we decided to play it really safe here, because why not? We had plenty of time to finish this key. Which again, I was surprised about, so I was really happy about this key. Being pretty inexperienced for the emissaries and the first time doing this, and it definitely gave me a lot of motivation to go and do more. But straight after this, I decided to go and do a shrine just for a laugh, and it went horribly wrong though, so it can just go either way really with pug teams, and I was very lucky here to have a really nice team. But it would be ideal to get like a pre-made and just have a really nice pre-made and just constantly go with pre-mades and have a laugh with friends. That's like the ideal situation. But very few get that. At a high level. I think that's probably one of the hardest things, is like trying to find a good combination. It's hard to find that right balance, I think, with a pre-made team where you're really getting on with each other and you're good friends and you're able to push high keys together where you're all similar skill level or you can learn together. That is difficult because it's easy enough to get into a group of 5 people and just have a laugh with friends, but to do it at a high level with good friends, finding that balancing combination, I find, has been difficult, and is difficult on games in general, really, whenever you're playing group content. So a lot of the time you will rely on pugging, I think, like as a general. I mean, I don't know, I'm just assuming that, but I'm pretty much assuming that a lot of the time you will end up relying on like pugging and stuff. I think as a tank though, if you're watching this for tanking, obviously, because of the protection paladin point of view, it does help to have like a healer friend at least. There are certain roles that are just ridiculously pinnacle at the moment due to how M+ is set up, and such as rogues and how key shrouds are. Most keys you'll need a rogue. So like having particular friends in particular roles does help. So that's when you start adding people and everything. But yeah, I definitely though, overall, if I was going to choose though, I do have much more fun just doing keys with people I know and friends overall. I do enjoy that more, but it's really nice to push yourself and do some high keys. So at this point, as a tank, you want to be making sure you're absorbing all the toads. That's what I'm doing really. And obviously in this boss fight, you want to be prioritizing the guardians. As the tank, you can see I have skull keybinders, so I do tend to skull things that I want people to focus on, because I know that's where most of the incoming damage is gonna come from. So I'll tend to target things with a skull so the DPS can focus on that. Paladins are great for helping with off healing as well, as you can see with this boss fight. I used Lay on Hands earlier to survive the Guardian, so I don't have that, but if you don't have to use Lay on Hands, definitely save it for this boss fight, because you can Lay on Hands right through virtually an entire phase here, intermission. Again, just focusing the Guardians and watching out for the lightning on the floor, and when the Plague Doctors spawn, just trying to get aggro on those ASAP, interrupting most of the casts. Snake Charm never used to be interruptible, but that was changed like sort of mid through last tier, I think. So just make sure you're CCing the Doctor as much as possible. So you can see there I'm just helping the healer with the flash of lighting. The druid has now run out of mana officially, but luckily he's gone into the last phase, he doesn't need any. We don't take any damage in this last phase really. The boss comes down, helps us out. Good times. This is the point, by the way, where you would drag ads in from the stairs. But again, not sure how that would work very well with the emissary there. so I just played it safe. And you'll notice we used Lust, the phase, before this one. I'm pretty certain we did anyway. That's the ideal situation because you've already got like an insane amount of Lust and Haste in this phase. So you want to use Lust on the phase prior to this one, before the last one. So second phase. And yeah, that is the dungeon complete. There's me just victory lapping around, popping all my CDs, which I tend to do when I'm pretty happy. So yeah, key complete with a pug group. He got an under 16, which I think he was wanting to do kind of thing, but people had to go. And that's kind of nice with pug groups, you know. Sometimes if everything does fall nicely and you happen to all just stay on for another key, that can usually work out quite well. But yeah, that's the key over. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you want to see, you know, any more videos in the future, just make sure to hit the bell down below. It'll notify you when I upload a video on my channel. And yeah, subscribe for future content. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It does help the video get across the YouTube community, I think. And yeah, check out my Twitch channel here, UrgntJustice, on Twitch, link below. Comment down below if you have any questions about Protection Paladin in particular or tanking. And yeah, just thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.